Thank you for joining our webinar, How to Build a Product Development Roadmap. Our speaker is Shahar Ahmad, a medical device industry veteran who currently serves as COO of Neuronoff and is a partner focused on product lifecycle management at Factor 7 Medical. Our webinar sponsor is Tegra Medical. Tegra Medical is known as the company where medical devices come to life. A true end-to-end contract manufacturing solutions provider for orthopedic and spine instruments and implants, Tegra Medical offers prototyping to production with full assembly, packaging, and sterilization. Shahar, thank you for joining us today.
Welcome, everybody. This is a presentation about product development road mapping. My name is Shahar Ahmad. I am a partner at Factor 7 Medical and also a CEO for Neuronoff Incorporated, a startup company in Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you for joining us, and we'll get started. So we are talking about road mapping. Roadmap, it's a schedule as part of a lengthy or complex program. Putting it in a sentence, originally roadmapped for an early Q4 release. The next generation of the processor will ship in the last few days of the year. From that, you can tell that road mapping is not a single event. It is definitely made up of parts since it is complex, and it lasts into the future, and it should be planned. So planning, because new product development is the lifeline of any company, and companies want customers to stay engaged, and environments and trends tend to change often, companies need to and should pay attention to innovation in terms of innovating and introducing new and exciting products, need to establish portfolio product future vision based on well-defined roadmaps. They also need to establish priorities and allocate resources accordingly, and revisit, adjust, retool, and refocus based on the changes that they face. So also for roadmaps, publicizing the roadmap and communicating it clearly throughout the organization is extremely important. Within larger companies, various business units or departments may have their own goals or objectives, which is very, very common. However, the company roadmap needs to drive the higher level of strategic planning and should drive company-centric goals and objectives, not those of departments or business units. Without a company-wide strategic plan, it is going to be difficult to put together a portfolio or a product roadmap. I think it's pretty clear that when you're going on a trip, for example, you want to know what your destination is, and then you can start planning. Depending on the weather, the activities that you're planning on doing, then you can get ready and prepare. The roadmap for a portfolio or product is no different. So the company roadmap can be as simple as a one-page document. It does not have to be complicated. And it should include the following elements. So you need to have clarity in terms of what the target markets are and what your target customers are. And once that is established, then you can set up what your products should be to serve those customers or those markets. And then to feed those products, you need a certain set of technologies that are needed to be acquired or developed to support those products. And then for those technologies, you should have differentiating core competencies that should help you develop those technologies. And we all know that without a strong set of skills within the team or the company, those core competencies will be very difficult to build. So this kind of builds on itself. You need skills that feed into core competencies, that feed into technologies, that feed into the products that are there to service those markets and customers that you're targeting. So a shared, well-communicated visual tool is extremely important to have because it encourages a healthy and open, transparent dialogue within the company. So it also clarifies the direction of the company portfolio. It will drive alignment that will benefit the overall organization, and it will provide visibility that is required for the quote-unquote trip that we're going on. Now, since we talked about it being complex and there's a lot of factors that are involved, and especially within large organizations or even medium-sized organizations, sometimes priorities tend to counter each other. So you want to make sure that your roadmap is linked to your strategic plans and priorities, and you want to be aware of any conflicting initiatives. And you also need to recognize gaps or significant events that might have to be considered or need to be avoided. And I'll give you a couple of examples in a slide coming up. So we all need to be prepared. We talked about that. Knowing where you're going is one thing. Getting there is another. And being prepared for that is extremely important. So time plays a major role in forward-looking roadmap. The roadmap should display your plan of action on a timeline. Again, the roadmap, we talked about this earlier, but it needs to begin at the lowest layer, which signifies current skill sets, and end with your target market and customers at the top. And likely the process will require multiple discussions and preparation assignments to gather information on the factors that we have talked about. So if you're not clear on what skill sets are available in the company, what core competencies are the ones that we need to build upon, and then not having visibility to the market trends or the regulations or competition or reimbursement, etc. Not knowing those factors will make the exercise of building a roadmap extremely difficult. So here's a template, an example of a template. So as you can see, it starts with year 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've seen it done up to 5 years. I've seen it done up to 10 years. It is your preference and what is feasible for your organization. As you can see, we list the market and the customers up top, then the products and the technologies, then the core competencies, then the skill sets, and then significant events in the bottom, just to be aware of them. Significant event could be a patent that's expiring for you or for your competition. Could be a different set of new regulations like MDR, for example. So it could be anything that you deem to be significant or something that you and your teams should be aware of. So as you can see, logically, the progression of things will happen in a kind of a diagonal fashion, because if you need a particular market that you or customer that you need to service in year 3, for example, and you have a skill set that is needed that you don't have today, you're going to have to develop that, and it's going to take some time. So it's not going to happen overnight. So you need to use this as a planning tool, of course, to make sure that your teams are prepared for the journey ahead. So this is extremely important to highlight that you don't want to establish goals based on items or factors that you don't currently have. So if there are skills that need to be developed, and then core competencies that need to be built, and then technologies that need to be developed, just, I know everybody's aware of that, but sometimes we overlook it. It needs time, and sometimes it's a significant amount of time. So the one thing is that there is really no set rule as to how you layer a roadmap. This is just a suggestion, but you need to have all the information in front of you and communicate that across the organization to ensure alignment. When it comes to road mapping and product development, nobody likes surprises. So the more you communicate, the more you discover, the better. So a roadmap isn't something you whip up together over a meeting or two. The idea here is not to have a roadmap just also, the idea here is not to have a roadmap that is just for the sake of having one. So if you are going to go through the effort and the the time and use the resources available to you to build one, then you probably should use it to plan your activities and manage your resources. So let's not just have one just to put it up on the wall and look at it. Take the time to prepare. Do involve other stakeholders to align within the company, and also align with the company strategy and the trends around you. You should do your research and have a great understanding of your capabilities and resources before you start this exercise. I've had the opportunity to work on roadmaps before, and we have set up teams and initiatives and goals and objectives for teams to gather information to come into a multiple meetings so we can build a roadmap. So again, this isn't an exercise where one or two people can get together in a room and say, let's put this thing together. Now, flexibility is important. We all know when we go on trips, things happen. You get a flat tire, a road is closed for construction, and you have to make a detour. And this is no different. So flexibility is extremely important. A roadmap should remain fluid as you work to verify your assumptions, because these assumptions could, and more often they do change. Goals and objectives may need to be adjusted in an evolving environment. I mean, we're talking about the trends around you, whether it's the economy, whether it's regulations, things do change. Again, change will happen. Designate a cross-functional team to work collaboratively, monitoring the variations that may impact your plan and could lead to a roadmap alteration. So just be flexible and be aware. While a roadmap is a great way to hold teams accountable, companies and teams and departments need to remember that, you know, things will evolve, and things, a roadmap, for example, will need to be adjusted. So the main point here is that a roadmap is not one to be established and set in stone and be followed blindly. So be ready to make some adjustments and continue to gather information to feed into that adjustment. At the end of the day, roadmap is a tool, and you have to manage the tool and not allow the tool to manage you. And I underscore this and emphasize this, that the exercise that went into building a roadmap in terms of gathering the information and having the discussions and the dialogues within the team needs to continue to help feed the roadmap and help adjust the roadmap when needed. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us today. Again, we appreciate it. And a roadmap is a fruitful exercise, and it uncovers a great deal of possibilities for your team. And I highly encourage it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Shahar, thank you so much for sharing your experience and expertise on creating a roadmap. A few questions for you. In your experience, where do companies often veer off course when it comes to following the roadmap?
You know, that's a really, really good question. I don't think it's done intentionally. The roadmap, as I mentioned during the presentation, it does require a great deal of effort in terms of gathering information. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that is viewed as a additional effort, additional work, and the running the business sometimes gets in the way of the future activities that need to happen for continuing to grow that business. So it is sometimes really time and availability away from your main responsibility, whether you're in marketing or in R&D. Sometimes that gets in the way. And then the potentially, veering away from a roadmap could be a function of, companies try it and they find out that maybe they don't need it. In terms of, we have a simple product line, it is pretty clear. We are focusing on iterating our existing product line. We're not interested in new innovation, for example. And I've seen that happen before, where a company, they have product line that lasts 20 and 30 years out in the market. And that is mainly like on the capital equipment, for example, point of view, side. So I was part of a company where, road mapping into the future wasn't that critical because of where the kind of products we were selling and the kind of life span for the product on the market. So they did not need that aggressive production of new innovation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You mentioned, the various groups of people that should be involved in creating a roadmap. Who do you think should lead the effort within an organization to create and drive the roadmap?
So that is I can tell you, speak from my experience. So when we, at one organization that I was part of, the R&D group initiated this work, but that only lasts for just so long. You need to bring in other groups. So we worked very closely with the marketing group, and we had more of a partnership in terms of producing that roadmap versus this is mine or this is yours. It's truly a collaborative effort. If one department says this is mine, you stay out. I think that is one way to negatively impact this exercise. So it is truly a collaborative effort. My recommendation is for the product development teams, R&D and marketing, to work together on this and get the feedback from other areas of the company.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, again, and sharing your expertise.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
I would also like to thank our sponsor, Tegra Medical, and you can learn more about Tegra Medical at tegramedical.com. And for more expertise on product development best practices, access our virtual education series at omtechexpo.com.